Hi, hey, how you doing, Carlos?
I'm great. How are you?
The new book, Man Up. So tell me a little bit about the book.
It's a raw and real look at what a guy goes through in his journey to becoming a man and how who we're told to be collides with who we are. But it's not just a book for men, it's also a book for women. As one of my female supporters recently told me, she said, this should be required reading for every woman because it's 285 pages of the most raw, gritty, uncensored look any woman could get into a guy's heart, mind, and spirit. So wherever you come from, it's a memoir, and it's trying to redefine what it means to be a man.
Do you feel like you're breaking any code,
Do I feel like I'm breaking any code?
a man code?
Man code? Yeah, I'm probably breaking a lot of rules with this one, but I think it's not really about it's not about betraying anyone. It's more about giving people permission to be all that they are and to not have to be suffocated by the expectations of the world around them. So I think that at the end of the day, everyone, male, female, working class, affluent, black, white, Latino, whatever you are, everyone will be grateful at the end of it.
Writing the book, what are some stuff that doing your research that you find that you didn't think that men need to be aware of and they should be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I think just a lot of it was exploring through the lens of my own journey and a lot of the men in my life. And I think I didn't realize just how important it was to have people step out of line and have other guys be examples and role models to younger men. The more men I talked to and the more men I thought about in my own life, I realized how important it was to have different guys come along and say, listen, Carlos, it's okay to write poetry, it's okay to be vulnerable, or it's okay to treat women in a way that's positive, or whatever it might be, or it's okay to not be homophobic, or whatever it might be. And I feel like those people were really instrumental in my growth and my maturation process as a person. And I hope this book can give other men and even women to feel permission to be who they are.
If you have to say like five things somebody should take away from the book after reading it, what would that be?
I think number one, know that you are enough, regardless of what anybody might say. Know that your vulnerability is where your power lives. Know that how you're told to be is not what you have to be, that you can be something else. I guess know that it's okay to ask questions and challenge things, and know that you're never alone in what you're going through. Because I think a lot of times if we don't hear people sharing similar experiences, or we don't have permission to talk about what we're going through, we think that we're alone. And the more and more I open up my own process and talk with other guys and even women about their own journey to finding themselves, I realize that these are things that all of us go through, trying to figure out who we are.
What was one journey can you recall that you go to that you feel that changed you to become a better man?
Yeah, there were a lot of things. I think one of my journeys was when I was a social worker working in Harlem in the Bronx, and I'd work with a lot of men who I think in general people would think are not the kind of men people want to be around. They think of them as villains, whether they're incarcerated or they were pimps or they were drug addicts or drug dealers, or there were people who had burned bridges or done horrible things. And what I found was that these men were human beings, and they were not so different from me, in the sense that if there were a couple things that were different in my past, I could have very easily become one of these men myself. And I think complicating the way we view people and humanizing people is very important, to realize that we're not above or better than other people, that we're all just trying to figure out what it means to be a person and find purpose and be the best people that we can. And I hope that this journey, when people read the book and the journey they go through reading it, that it gives them that permission. Because the point of this book is not, as you'll see, I'm a complicated figure. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but it's all about that growth and that journey. And I think that's why I think the book is very relatable, because I'm not somebody on a pedestal. I'm the guy who's pulling all my scars and all my mistakes and mess ups along the way and exposing them to the world, to let people know that it's okay to talk about that and it's okay to grow.
Talking to the youth, what would one thing somebody age appropriate that read the book you think that they should get as far for them to be man up about, such as like the fundamental?
Yeah.
What would be a fundamental youth will get out of it?
A fundamental thing, I think a fundamental thing is just I want people to know that it's okay. There's certain rules that were given when we're younger, that it's okay to break those rules. Uh, People ask me a lot about the title of the book being Man Up, and I'm trying to reclaim that phrase, like you said, Man Up. I'm trying to reclaim it to mean a lot different things. So a lot of times it's used for really destructive male behavior. Man up, sleep with that woman, punch that guy in the face, do whatever, right? I want it to be different and people to be challenged to man up by being accountable, by being emotionally present, and by being respectful and humanizing people around them. So I think it's okay to live outside of that box.
Generally, in the 21st century, last question, do you feel that what would a thing that you think we as a society need to man up about?
I think the biggest thing that we all need to do is give people permission to be all of who they are, male, female, trans, whatever. And that's really what this book is about. It's about redefining what it means to be a man in the 21st century. I think the time has come, and I think we can challenge each other as men to man up by really breaking the rules and stepping outside of that very narrow box that so many of us have become accustomed to, and really finding out what it is to be who we really are, and ultimately to be free.
So the book name is.
The book is called, here's the book, it's called Man Up, Cracking the Code of Modern Manhood, and it's available at bookstores, great bookstores like Books and Books. You can also find it online through my website, carloslive.com.
So should I call you Papi now?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.